Hello, everyone, and welcome to this figure card reading. So today we're going to be doing a love reading. Spirit guided me to work with the energy of love today. So it's going to be like healing and growth in love. And this is for anyone. Like you can be in a relationship or single, or you could apply it to your self-love journey. I wanted to leave it really open to just really being about love. So it's like, what does love want you to know right now? And we're going to kind of take it from there. So we have 3 groups, as you can see. So go ahead and pick which one you feel most drawn to, and then I'll see you for your reading. Holly Group 1. So the current energy in love, where are you right now? So it's really interesting because as I laid out your card, like see how there's shadow here? And I couldn't really like get it without shadow. So it's sort of like part way in shadow, right? And then we have the sun, and the sun is what casts shadows in life. So in love right now, I feel you are being shown your own shadow. And this happens within all of our relationships, really of all kinds, is that we are kind of mirrored to each other, the places in us that require healing and growth. So I feel like you might have been, I feel kind of a sense of like a truth bomb. It might have been kind of like a big revelation where, and even my throat chakra is going as I'm talking. So either you have delivered this to somebody, like some big truth, or someone has delivered this to you, some kind of a messenger, I feel like came in and there was some kind of a message that was received about shadow in relationship, especially yours or maybe your partner's or something like this. And so I feel like you're in a time of integration, and I feel like it could be a little bit raw. There might be a sense of like things feel kind of raw or tender or, vulnerable, because I feel like maybe you feel exposed. And this does happen in relationships, is like we can feel quite exposed. We can feel like, oh my gosh, there's nowhere to hide. But it's such a powerful vessel for change and for healing. And I feel like that's what spirit and your guides really want you to come back to as you sort of work your way through. I feel you're in an integration of a shadow, okay? Like a shadow has been revealed to you and now you're integrating it. And the reason is because it's going to, like the reason this has come up into your awareness and it's been shown to you is because it's going to improve your relationships. It's going to allow you to love at a much deeper level. So I'm really feeling reassurance coming through from spirit and the angels and the guides to say it's okay. Like whatever's been revealed to you, it has occurred and it has happened in alignment with the highest good of all. Like this is in alignment. Whatever you're going through is in alignment. And there are shadows in life. Like we have the sun and then we have the shadow of the sun, right? We have both. So I feel like there's something about you, maybe, like I feel a sense of like the truth has hit you and there's been some kind of a revelation or a shock. And now it's like time to integrate something about this shadow. Or maybe it's about your own shadow in relationship. Like, I mean, it is your own shadow, but it could also be sort of like between you and a partner. I feel quite strongly in this one. But it's something about your own shadow. Like maybe it's a blind spot. That's what I was trying to find. It's like something that you weren't seeing before. Now you can see it. And you might be like, wow, how did I not see this before? But it's been revealed to you by the universe. And my throat chakra was kind of going before. So yeah, I do feel like there could be some kind of discussions that need to take place or have already taken place. There's something about talking, about messages, about receiving messages, and about truth coming to light. So Spirit's saying the truth will set you free, and this is a necessary part of your growth. Like it's necessary for your learning to have this occur. You need this to you needed to have this. You needed this to happen. Like it's good. Like God is good. I feel like I feel a real vulnerability from you and a fear of like, oh my gosh, like, and maybe you're being too harsh on yourself as well, because the truth is we all do have shadows, We aren't perfect on this earth plane yet, right? Maybe we will be, but not yet. So where you're at right now, I feel a vulnerability, but I really feel the angels and the guides coming in and telling you like, it's going to be okay. This was revealed to you for a reason. It's an important next step in your healing. So let's take a little bit of a closer look about like, what are you healing here and what does Spirit want you to know about healing and growth in love? So we have the Oracle of the Radiant Sun. We've got a strong sun theme. So this could be about masculine energy. Okay, manipulation. Goodness me. We have, that is Jupiter in Scorpio in the 8th house with manipulation. Okay. Ooh, that's heavy, man. All right. So there could be a fear here that you're going to lose somebody or that you already have lost somebody. I'm feeling fear. Okay. With this loss card, I feel you really don't want to lose someone you love or, okay, achievement. I feel like there's some really huge like reorientation in your energy field. Assertion. There we go. Sun in Aries in the 1st house with assertion. Okay. So you're going through like a hugely reorientation of your energy. Like your energy is rearranging itself inside of you. It's a huge integration of things that have gone on. I feel like you might have felt manipulated by somebody in relationship, or you might realize that you might have tendencies to manipulate situations, or that might have been in your blind spot. Like you might not have intended to do it, because I know that, I don't feel like you're a manipulative person or whatever, but I feel like there's something here where maybe you realize, and yeah, see this card, it's got the night sky behind it. It's like there's something that was in the darkness about you or somebody else that you didn't realize before. And Scorpio can be kind of a harsh energy sometimes, at times. So I feel like something's really been revealed to you, and maybe you're feeling a sense of grief from it, or a sense of, like I'm getting a sense like maybe it's hard for you to focus on the external world of achievements right now. You might be struggling to focus with your work, or struggling to, focus with a project or something that you're working on, because this is kind of like all-encompassing. Whatever you're processing right now, it feels really all-encompassing, something that you're going through. So it could be about manipulation. You might have been manipulated or lied to, and this has been revealed, or there could even be elements of like cheating for some of you, I feel, might be processing right now. But Spirit's saying like it's okay that you feel maybe cut off from the world of achievement right now, or cut off a little bit from, I don't know, I feel like maybe you were working on something quite a lot, and then this has sort of come in, and it's sort of, been like a bit of a bomb, like a truth bomb. It's kind of like exploded. And you might be there sort of picking up the pieces of your life and like wondering, wait, how did this even happen? Okay, so Spirit's saying it's okay that you're feeling this way. Like it's all part of a bigger picture. Like there's a bigger picture to what's going on here, basically. And I feel like the deepest fears that you have is around loss, or a relationship ending, or maybe being on your own or abandoned in some way. So you're facing like some of your deepest fears here, some of your deepest kind of sorrows as well. I feel a heartbroken energy here. But the thing is, even if you're still in a relationship, like there is a chance for rebuilding, and Spirit's saying that you're going to get back on track with your achievement again. Like this is a necessary kind of pause so that you can heal some things that were getting a little bit out of control. Like I feel like something about the dynamic in relationship, or just in your life to do with your relationship with love, there was something about it that was becoming like really, really big. Like something that's left unsaid can become like a really big block, or something that hasn't been addressed can become, kind of a really big deal. So I feel like you're in shock. There might be a sense of loss of like, am I going to lose people in my life? Like, for example, maybe for some of you, it's about other relationships, not romantic. And you realize that, I don't know, a dynamic with your family can't continue, and you're feeling the loss of that. You're feeling the fear of like, am I going to lose these people? I love them, that kind of thing. Like I'm feeling a lot of like fear of loss, and feeling like you need to pause and integrate before you can move out into the world and continue with your achievement, or continue with, making money or working on a project or something like this. So Spirit's just wanting to basically bring things into perspective and say that it's like perfectly okay if you're feeling not able to keep work. Like, well, I know it's not always okay to not feel like you can work, but it's okay to feel like you can't focus on the things you used to be able to focus on, because your energy field is being rearranged. Like, and I really see something shattered, and then it's like being glued back together again. Like, a vase or something being shattered and broken, and then it's being glued back together again. And it's going to become even more beautiful. Like that's what Spirit wants to assure you, that whatever occurs like through this revelation, it will become more beautiful. It will become more aligned with Spirit. Like the sun is a very strong omen of success and of joy and of victory. and of truth, So the truth is really important in your relationships. Maybe you're realizing patterns of inauthenticity, or you realize that you are being kind of manipulated by a dynamic or something like this. This feels very relational. Like, even if you're single, I really don't want you to feel like this reading isn't for you, because it is. It's still for you. And that was my intention at the beginning of the reading, is that this would serve anyone, no matter where they're at with relationship status or anything like that. Because I feel like this is just true for your relationships in general. I feel like you're either realizing your shadow, but I feel like it also could be that you're realizing the shadow of maybe as well, like how you have put up with certain behaviors, or you're realizing, how you've been self-sacrificing or something like this as well. And with the manipulation card, it's like you might realize that you've been kind of manipulated in some way, and you haven't been seeing something clearly. It was in your blind spot. So with it, I'm feeling grief, and I'm feeling some anger as well. There might be anger that needs to process. Like, you might be angry at yourself or angry at somebody else. There's a lot of feelings here. Like, it's big feelings, and there's a lot of healing here. And like I said, I feel like right now you're at the point in your healing where it's like really raw and tender and painful, and you might be really uncertain and not sure, like, how is things going to progress and things like this. But Spirit's saying that trust that this is going to set you free in some way and help you to move forwards in a greater way. So even if you're feeling like, oh, I'm losing time or I'm losing focus, like Spirit's saying, well, you're going to gain greater focus. You're going to gain greater clarity through this. Yeah, I feel like clarity with the sun coming through, it feels like clarity. That's what you're going to gain from this. And I feel like you're not in clarity right now. You might be in confusion or shock. Like I said, there might be a sense of being heartbroken or something. I know this is like, it feels like really intense energy, basically. It feels really intense. And maybe someone was really assertive with you and said something like, this is how I feel, or this is what I see. And it was like really shocking to you, or you had to do that with somebody. And kind of like, I feel like there's a sacred rage maybe that was within some form of relationship, or you're getting in touch with your own sacred rage and realizing like, hey, I've really been self-sacrificing. Like, I'm seeing some kind of a dynamic, okay? And whichever side that you might feel you're on, it's like no judgment, just, take it for what it is. But I feel some kind of dynamic where one person was overgiving to the other person, and it was becoming unfair and kind of like intolerable for one of the parties in the relationship, kind of like I'm seeing, because this can happen in family relationships as well, for example, like being really inauthentic around family members and just sort of like biting your tongue and just always talking about them and what's going on for their life and holding space for them and being really kind to them. But it's like then they aren't seeing you or loving you or helping you or holding space for you. And I just see you getting to some kind of breaking point, like, for example, where you're like, oh my gosh, and you realize how angry you are and how much sacred rage you have about how much you've been self-sacrificing and how much your needs have not been being met in relationship. So I'm seeing this kind of like revelation and awakening where there's some kind of sacred rage that has come in through your vessel or like through somebody you're in relationship with directed at you, which I know is not easy, right? It's not an easy thing to have this kind of like wake-up call where you realize maybe you haven't been doing the best that you could have been doing, or some kind of shadow energy sort of was at play in your side. But equally, it could be that you're realizing this anger for yourself and you're really upset and you're like, I can't do this anymore. And you're realizing like, wait, I literally can't do this anymore. Like, I feel this sense of realization and you're feeling like, wait, I actually can't continue in this same dynamic. I can't continue in this same way. So I feel like there's a sense of loss because there's a sense of insecurity of like, is this relationship going to continue? Can I still be with my family? Can I still make this work? Can I still, because something about the dynamic, it was not honoring one or both parties, okay? It's either wasn't honoring one or both of the parties within that connection or that dynamic. And Spirit saying, well, it had to end, this is a positive break, like kind of like crack, because some kind of dynamic, it had to end so that something else could be reborn. And so that you could also become more self-honoring and honoring of those you're in relationship with, okay? Because I really see it could go both ways. Like, it could be you having all these truth bombs hit you, from someone else, or it could be like from yourself. You're realizing like, wait, I literally have been acting out of, I feel a sadness as well, because I feel you were acting out of a place of trauma or wounding, where it's like you weren't getting your needs met or you weren't recognizing how little you were receiving in relationship. And I feel anger at the other person for like not seeing this. Like, for not ever realizing that they were always holding the space, like they were always taking up the space or taking up the energy. Like I feel a real unequal dynamic that's suddenly come to light. Like I said, no judgment for which side you might have found yourself on in that, because we can all do things, you know, in our shadow that doesn't necessarily reflect who we really are. Like Spirit's saying, it's an opportunity for healing and for growth and to kind of become a better person in a way, whichever side you're on. Because, you know, I feel you really finding your assertiveness and claiming what you want, like claiming your needs back in relationship and being like, you know what, I need this, I deserve this. And it's coming from like a sacred rage place. And, you know, it's something that I've talked about a lot in my group Terra Nova when I do energy healings. Is it came up like a whole session on sacred rage a few weeks ago, and it's been so healing and really unfolded things for us. But with sacred rage is that, you know, a lot of the time, like anger can be repressed, especially in relationships, because it's like, well, I love this person, you know, I don't want to do it. Like sort of I'm seeing someone maybe holding space for their family and realizing like, wait a minute, this is really like torturing me or draining me, you know. And it's sort of like you have to get angry about it. That's the step one, you know. There has to be an anger of a realization of like, wait, this dynamic cannot continue. I can't just keep, you know, holding space endlessly and not getting anything in return, because it's so draining. Like it's the most draining experience. It's so draining. And there's a sadness though that hits after that sacred rage comes through, and there's that call to action or that call to be assertive or that call to sort of be heard or listened to or for a dynamic to change. Then there's the loss, then there's the grief, right? Then comes the sadness, the waves of sadness, where you suddenly realize like, oh, I was settling for so little for so long, or I really was hiding my power in this relationship, or, you know, being submissive or something like this. And there's this sadness and this grief that you yourself would sort of allow that to happen, or that somebody else would kind of play into that dynamic for you, like with you, and not see you in that. Like I really feel this sadness of like not being seen. And I really feel like the example of the family is a really strong one, because a lot of the times, you know, people who watch my channel, like you're all high consciousness beings. Hello, love you. High consciousness souls. And so necessarily you're probably going to be, you know, doing a lot of healing work in your family because of your consciousness level. And a lot of the time I've found like, you know, high consciousness beings, you know, we hold space for people like endlessly, right? There's so much space being held for others, but it can also, Spirit saying this is such a breakthrough because it's time for you to heal. It's time for you to grow and heal and change and realize that when you hold space, like in that way, you are not honoring yourself and you are blocking your own flow of love and you are blocking your own soul's evolution on this earth. So it's like, this is a huge breakthrough. And if you are the one that has maybe been taking too much in relationship, again, this isn't really spoken about enough, because we can both be like, we can be on both sides of things. And I really want this message to come through without judgment, because Spirit really does not judge you for this. And I feel like you might need to know this, because I feel like maybe you've been really hard on yourself. Spirit does not judge you for the shadows that you might get entangled with on this earth plane. Like they are always perfect for what we are needing to heal at a soul level. So you are realizing like, maybe I've been taking too much, maybe I've been asking too much of people, or, you know, or vice versa, where you've been giving too much. It really feels like that. It really feels like one or the other. And you kind of are going to be on one side of the extreme, you know? Yeah. So I feel like we're going to continue with this Oracle of the Radiant Sun. Feels like it's got some good cards right now, you know, for this reading. So we're going to continue. Let's get 4 more cards, Spirit, for group 1. What do you want them to know? What does love want them to know? What does love want them to know? So we have devotion. Yeah, see, I feel like you were devoted. I feel like you've been devoted to someone, therefore you haven't seen a manipulation. Like again, I'm getting strong family vibes, but it could equally be relationship. Then we have caution with Mercury in Virgo. So you've been like, again, there's been some kind of communication, but I feel like you or someone else was really holding back on the communication, or there wasn't the ability to like be heard or to have some kind of conversation, and now it's happened. Like maybe you've just finally been assertive and like confronted someone, or someone else has brought a message in and it's confronted you and you're like, whoa. And there's something about like your devotion or somebody else's devotion. Like this is like kind of tripping me out, because I'm feeling both sides at the same time as I'm tuning in. And usually I just feel like more like one side of the relationship, you know, like I'm reading for the person who's overgiving or something. But this one I'm feeling both sides, like 110% both sides. So Just keep in mind whichever side you're on, okay? But I'm just seeing like you were, or someone was really devoted to the relationship or to the connection. Like, again, apply it to family maybe, or love or friendship, whatever it might be. It might be all of your relationships you do this in. There's a devotion energy where you want to give, you want to love, you want to be there for people, you want to help, you want to uplift, you want to inspire, you want someone to succeed, you want to hold space for them so they can become the best version of themselves. But in a way, you were doing this in a way that was not self-honoring, and it created resentment and anger where you're like, wait, but I'm not getting my needs met. Wait, but this is so not reciprocal, to the point where it's like almost like parasitical, okay? That's the energy I'm getting, where it's like it was so draining you. And this rage or this anger that you've had that's allowing you to confront something and to be assertive and to talk about it and to bring it to the light, it's such a positive thing. And I feel like in a way you were being manipulated by your own devotion. You were being manipulated by your own self-sacrifice, by your own sense of giving and giving and giving and wanting to be there for people. It's like it was manipulating you in your own mind, where you were like, well, I love this person, so I need to like show up for them, or I need to keep giving to them, or all these excuses. I'm just seeing excuses in your mind of like, wow, but this thing, but they've been going through something, but they're really important, but this. And then finally it's like something has cracked and you're like, but what about me? And it's like this beautiful thing where the angels are celebrating you because it's sacred rage, meaning it's coming from somewhere true. It's coming from a deep truth. It's not from an ego kind of inflated, self-righteous kind of place. It's coming from a deep truth from your heart where you're like, I have not been treated fairly. This is not okay with me. And I see you needing to basically express yourself as much as you need and get into this pattern of being assertive so that you keep on expressing things as it happens, so that it's not being like bottled up and like, pent up inside of you, which I feel like was something that's happened in this dynamic, where some kind of thing was like really repressed. It was really repressed. You were really silencing yourself about it, silencing your inner voice, your intuition, where you're like, oh, I don't know, I shouldn't say anything. Or if you did try to say something, maybe it just didn't come out in the right way. But I feel like finally you've had some kind of a breakthrough where you're actually able to say it. You're actually able to get through to somebody, or someone was able to get through to you, and now you see it and you're like, whoa, I can see this now. And both parties are having this sun moment, the sun like shining this light on this thing where you're like, whoa, I can both, like everyone's seeing it. And there's a shock, it sent shockwaves through yourself and through the person who was in this dynamic with you, or the people in this dynamic with you. Because again, I'm seeing a lot of family themes here as well. You may have just confronted your family or been assertive with them, been like, hey, I need this dynamic to change, or this is how I've been feeling, or something like this. It's all about dynamics changing in relationship. And like I said, you might be going through some deep emotions that you didn't even realize you had because they were buried really deep. Like really deep. Like I feel this is so deeply in your soul's karma, like the thing that you're here to heal in this lifetime. And that's why it was so in your blind spot. And I just feel like the way that it was kept going is through this devotion and this love energy, that in a way you were kind of manipulating yourself in a way. You were manipulating yourself to avoid your anger, to avoid your unhappiness, and just to kind of keep on giving and being in this devotion energy. But it's like Spirit saying to do that, like to not address the truth in a situation, to not address your anger or the truth about your anger, the truth about where you feel unheard or unseen or like something's been unfair, like unjust. To not do that means that a relationship is doomed. Like all it does is basically doom a relationship. It means that the relationship can't continue because this dynamic is so unsustainable that it's like something will happen, it will crack open and it will sort of rupture. So I feel like this is something Spirit's saying is like, you don't have to have excessive caution about the way that you communicate. Like I feel like as well, you're learning about communication, because obviously we don't want to communicate in a way that's like violent. Have you ever heard of non-violent communication? It's like a lot of the times when things have been really repressed and it's like super deep down, it can be like this rush of like rage and anger that comes through, and it can be kind of larger than life and almost bigger than that moment. It's like, I don't know, some kind of trigger, like with a family member, and it's like they say that thing one more time and you just like blow up and it's like huge and everyone's like, whoa, where the heck did this come from? I had no idea you felt like this. And then there you are being like, well, I felt like this for 10 years and I never said anything. It's like this huge eruption. So Spirit's saying there's something about this pattern of like kind of repressing the truth out of love. Like you do it from a place of love where you're like, oh, but I love this person. I don't want them to hurt. I don't want them to I don't know, there's something that you were trying to keep a dynamic going that was not self-honoring, that was self-sacrificing yourself, but you did it out of this perception of, well, I love them, but I love them. But it's like something that is not self-honoring to you is not love, because it's not loving you. And I think that's something that you're really realizing. And again, if you're on the side of having this truth being revealed to you about your dynamic in relationship that might be shocking for you, like, this is an opportunity to align deeper with love, to align more deeply with love. And Spirit's saying not to judge yourself too much, because there's always sort of, it's always two. Like when we're in dynamics with people, like we're both bringing our own things to it. And I feel like, it's an opportunity, basically. Spirit's saying, see it as an opportunity, right? And as an opportunity for healing and for growth, because I think our deepest healings and our deepest growth comes through relational space, because our deepest pain and our deepest trauma comes through relational space. So it's like, so too does our healing. And that's what Spirit's reminding you of in this, because I think that with the sun, it's like you might want to be perfect. Like, no, I'm perfect. My relationship's perfect. I love this person, or I love my family. Everything's perfect. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. I'm kind of feeling this sense of denial where you're like, everything's fine. And it's sort of this, like, you really want it to just be fine. You really want to not have to confront this very painful thing and face some sense of loss or some sense of, because this might also lead you to setting different boundaries. You might need more space, more independence. You might need to, for some of you, it could even be that a relationship has actually come to an end and you're feeling genuine loss about that. And I'm sending you so much love for that. Okay, we have independence. What did I just say? Exactly. See, you are becoming more independent, both of you, like, or whoever, whichever parties are within this sort of dynamic. Because again, I'm seeing a lot of family stuff. So your pathway forwards is independence, okay? And with the sun in Sagittarius in the 9th house with enthusiasm, see there's angels here on this card. Like, well, I see it as angels. I think they're angels, but I like to see it as angels. So I feel like, okay, so your pathway forward is being guided by the angels. And that's why this, even though things are painful right now, like Spirit's saying, yeah, but you're healing so deeply, and it's allowing for such a different energy to come in. You will feel reinvigorated and re-inspired to do with your work, because I'm feeling for some of you it's been such a shock, or there's been a loss going on in your life, like maybe someone has even passed on for some of you, and I'm sending again so much love for this. There's been some kind of a loss, and it might have taken you away from the world of achievements, external achievements, and you're like, whoa, I've lost myself here, what's going on? I'm feeling vulnerability again. But it's like Spirit saying that you're creating a greater sense of independence. And I think that some kind of dynamic that was really codependent or enmeshed, again, I'm seeing family, like a codependent relationship in family dynamics, or in a partnership with somebody, or even in a friendship, things can become like enmeshed and codependent really quickly. And both people's shadows can suddenly be kind of like at play here. So I feel like there's been a shock, there's been a rupture, but there will also be a repair, okay? And you are going to repair this in a way that allows you to become more independent and less codependent, and less like whichever side of codependency that you're on. Because I feel like a lot of the time in codependency, it's this classic thing of one person is needy and the other person needs to be needed. Okay, it's like one person has the needs and then the other person needs to be needed. And it's this really unbalanced dynamic, because really there needs to be reciprocity where both people have needs and both people are needed. So it's like the person who needs to be needed feels safe when they overgive, because they're like, well, this person needs me. They aren't going to abandon me, because you've created a dynamic where, they're not going to leave you, kind of thing. But then the person who's really needy, they really need someone else to kind of regulate life for them or help them, sort of to an excessive degree, where they're not independent and they're not sort of standing on their own 2 feet. So it's like codependency is kind of a match made in not heaven, right? It's not made in heaven, because it creates a lack of freedom and individuality, where both people, both parties, family members are able to pursue their own life in their own terms. So with the Sagittarius influence and the Aquarius influence, it's like you need freedom. You need the freedom for like life to dance between you both. And you need the freedom to kind of, live life on your own terms, because I see that you have been super drained. Or if you've been the one who's been needing everyone, it's like you've kind of been draining people. Like it's a realization that, we can't we can't behave in these ways for people that we love. Like, we have to set them free. We have to let them be. So I feel this sense of, really waking up to a draining dynamic that you're like, wait, I can't actually do this anymore. Or someone else has told you that they can't do it anymore. They're desiring greater independence. So Spirit's saying, though, with the enthusiasm card, like, you can be optimistic about this. Like, I'm not seeing, it depends on your situation, because I know some of you, it might be that you've actually had something, break up, or even a loved one pass on, or an animal being passed on. So there might be some kind of an ending here. But I know that whatever comes from this, like, your independence is going to feel like freedom, okay? You're going to feel a new sense of enthusiasm and a new sense of bravery and courage to, like, move out into the world. And it's going to come from a totally different dynamic. And I feel like this has been such a huge revelation and awakening in your psyche. Like I said, whichever side that you happen to be on, it's been such a huge revelation that I feel like this is not going to continue anymore. Like, this dynamic cannot and will not continue. And I feel that you are really having, like, Spirit saying, be optimistic about how much can actually heal from this, and how much you can grow from this, and how much this actually won't have to occur for you anymore. Like, it doesn't necessarily have to be this way anymore. And Spirit saying, like, let that loss feeling in, and let that grief and the anger and whatever other emotions sort of like come through you, because something is being repaired in this space as you're integrating. And I feel like moving forwards, you are not going to settle for less in relationship. And I feel this sense of codependency like really breaking up for you, and you realizing, like, I can't be a party to either side of codependency, whichever side you happen to be on, because it's unhealthy and it blocks the flow of love. So yeah, enjoy this independence. Like, Spirit saying, remember, you are supported by the angels. You are loved by the divine. There is no judgment from Spirit for anything that you're working through and going through. You can receive this love in this moment that Spirit has for you, and know that you are supported. All right, group 1, sending you so much love for your path, and good luck. If you would like to check out more of my work, please see links in the description box below. Hello, group 2. So I feel you have been feeling the call of love. Like, I feel this beautiful song, like I'm hearing a sound, kind of like a light language toning sound, and it's like love has been calling out to you. Love has been calling to you. And I feel this is all forms of love. Like, I'm feeling soul family kind of love, soulmate, twin flame. Like, you've been feeling some kind of higher level love calling to you, and it's been calling from your heart, and you've been like, yes, give it to me. Like, I feel like you're so ready for a higher level of love, bring me a higher love. That song lyrics are coming into my head. It's like, bring me a higher love. I feel like that's what you're ready for. You're like, bring it to me. I'm ready. I want this. I'm ready for something so much more high vibrational than maybe what you have going on right now in your life. And I'm feeling like what you've been learning and healing in love is like something about lower vibrational connections, and how much they are not fulfilling you. Like, maybe that's something that's been super brought to your awareness recently or something, is this realization that you maybe have been trying to get your needs met in relationships that might actually be incapable of doing that, okay? And I think that you've been trying to settle for less, and you've been trying to compromise in some sort of way in relationships. Like, all kinds, I'm seeing family, friends, love, anything. You've been just trying to kind of like get your needs met, because as humans, we are really relational beings. Even if you're a massive introvert, you're still a relational being, okay? So it's like you still need some kind of relationship, and the quality of our relationships doesn't have to be very many, but the quality of them really matters. And I'm seeing something about the quality just not being it, man, for you. Like, at the moment, it's just not it. There's something about it where, the quality is just not it. Like, and I'm really feeling this sadness in you where you're like, man, because I feel like you really try and you really put a lot into your connections, and I'm feeling a lot of friendship energy. And you know what's funny, because this deck is sitting here and we have friendship. Okay, so let's get some more cards for group 2, Spirit, because yeah, I'm also seeing, I'm seeing that the call that you've been feeling is also like an angelic call, where Spirit's been kind of like trying to raise your frequency so that you can be a vibrational match to some kind of love offer that wants to come in for you. Like, there's some kind of friendship. It could be really friendship, okay? It could actually be friendship, because we got the friendship card, but it's like some kind of really pure and innocent and really high vibrational love. Soul family, I'm getting really strongly, but for a lot of you, it could also be romantic love. Like, that's definitely not discounted here. It's some kind of a call. It's like the angels, I feel, have been calling you, because with the judgment card, this is judgment in traditional tarot. it's always depicted with angels on it. And it's sort of like I'm feeling the angels, they're trying to raise your frequency. They're trying to bring you up and out of some kind of sadness or depression maybe that you've been feeling or going through. Because there is more here for you. Like, that's what I'm hearing. There's so much more here for you. Okay, we have negotiation. See, and I feel like you've been trying to negotiate to get your needs met, and it just has not been working. You know, it's just, it's not been happening. Okay, we have risk. Interesting. We have risk, you know, and Saturn's about to go into Aries like this year for the first time. Obviously, well, I don't know if it's obvious, but Saturn, planets, when they go into a new sign, they also retrograde out again. So it's like, it's going into Aries in May. So May could be a time, what are we in now? So like in a couple of months, something could be changing for you in your relationships. That's what I'm getting, because this is a timeless reading. If you're watching at the time I'm putting it out, it could be May. End of May though, like more like, you know, couple months from now. Something's changing in your relationships. Something that you were kept away from. See how this person's like in a box? They're like kind of looking out a window, kind of like in a prison cell. It's like, oh my gosh, there's something you're breaking free from. You're going to take a risk and you're going to break free from something that was really holding you back. Maybe it's about doing something kind of radical action. I'm seeing you might feel guided to take some kind of radical action, like to move locations, to relocate, to move interstate, or to move across the world internationally, because there's something here about you've been really trying to negotiate the place that you're in. You've been like in this negotiations with spirit, and you're like, right, so if I do this and I give this, maybe I could do this, maybe I could, yeah, look, back of the deck is practicality. It's like you've been trying to be super practical, group 2. You've been trying to get your needs met best way you can, whatever way you can. Like, please just give me something, spirit. But I'm seeing there's something kind of radical coming in for you that's going to help to break up some kind of energy pattern that you've been in. Because I just see, maybe, for example, you're living in your hometown, or you're living close to your home, like where you were born or something. And there's something about like that energy is not really a vibrational match to who you really are, or like what you really need from life, what you really are looking for. Like, because I feel this sense in your heart, like a yearning. I feel a yearning in your heart for higher quality and deeper relationships, and of all kinds. Again, of all kinds. I don't feel it's only romance, because we got the friendship card, and, you know, friends are extremely sacred connections and soul family and things like this. So I feel like you really feel trapped or something. Maybe like the place that you're coming from, like the place you're in is very conservative, or there's not a lot of alternative people or spiritual people. There's something about the convention of where you are is like really suffocating your frequency or your vibration. And I feel you're just really outgrowing it at the moment. And that's why you might feel like more uncomfortable with the current state of affairs, or whatever the current state of things is, because you're actually outgrowing it quite rapidly. And things are shifting, things are changing, and you're ready to kind of take a risk and put something new into action. So I see timelines shifting for you, and this might also feel, because risk coming out kind of implies a little bit of fear. There's a little bit of fear in your energy field. Like, it might be like, whoa, this feels like a huge risk, a huge leap of faith. I'm leaving behind everything I know. I'm leaving behind my hometown or my family of origin or something. But Spirit's saying like it's going to set you free. Like, you really need to free up your energy and your frequency, because you have a mission to complete. I was like, what's the word? Fulfill, complete. Like, you have a mission here. And that's what the Judgment card here also talks about, is like, we are called to earth for a reason. Like, I feel like you are a soul. You are called to earth. Like, bring, hello. Yes. Will you come to earth, please? And you were like, okay. That's the thing. Like, you were called here for a reason. You were not called here to like sit in a low vibrational place and be in unfulfilling relationships. It's like, oh my gosh, no, that is not why your soul was called to this earth, right? You were called here to get things done, to have a mission, to grow, to evolve, to change this place. And I feel like there's something where you're going to be kind of busting out of some kind of limitation. It's really interesting, because this person here in this card, they kind of look like a child's face. It looks a bit like a child. It's kind of a weird image in a way. But yeah, it's like a child, and then there's like a big home, it's convention, it's like this could be an institution, or it could be a family home, some kind of a religion or culture. It's like it's been boxing you in, right? It's been boxing you in, and it's kept you kind of small. And I feel like it's something that stems from childhood, like some kind of a dynamic with family. This could really deeply involve your inner child, and I feel like your inner child might feel afraid to like break free and to move forwards. But the thing is that your soul is so much more powerful than this. Your soul is so much bigger than this, and it needs a chance to free itself up. Look, you're in a cage, you're in a box, you're in a small, confined space, and your soul isn't able to grow in the way that it wants to grow. Like it wants to expand rapidly, deeply, incredibly, beautifully. And there's something about where you are right now, or the relationships that you're in, where I feel like you are crammed into this tight little space, like a little box, and you're not able to move, you're not able to be free, you're not able to flow. And I see you like constantly trying to just make things work. And Spirit's like really, man, my heart hurts as I'm being shown this, because I'm seeing you like trying to call a friend and like be like, hi, yeah, I could really, and just like having it maybe like not work out, or being on the phone to a family member and just feeling this coldness in your heart, or this lack of reciprocity where it's like, oh my gosh, this is so heartbreaking. And I just feel you constantly trying and trying in these relationships, and Spirit's saying like, look, there's better things out there for you. Like you don't have to try to negotiate to get your needs met with people that aren't on the same consciousness level as you, okay? Like if they are on a higher consciousness level, then absolutely do what you need to do to communicate your needs and move forwards. But I just feel like there's some kind of energy that can be very futile when we are with people who are at a different consciousness level, because it's just a different thing. And it's like the thing that you need from them, they might not even understand. They might be like, I don't know what you mean. Like, what do you mean? And it's like, I need you to like, I don't know, like there's something about this, like you're not being seen, and you're really cramped. It's kind of like how when a plant, outgrows its pot, and it's like you've got a little pot for it, but it gets so big for that pot, it's like you got to repot it, or else what are you doing, man? You're restricting the growth of that plant. So it's like there's something here about where you are, or the relationships that you're in, like it's currently restricting the growth of your soul and of your life. And I know that's not an easy thing to realize, right? It's not an easy thing to come to terms with. Like I understand that it's hard, and I feel I feel pain, and I feel the fear and the uncertainty of like, that kind of like a child feels, where they're like, oh, I just want to be safe. I just want to be loved. Like, where is everyone? I need love. Wow. So goodness me. So I see some kind of a risk taking place where it's like you're going to move forwards in a way that frees yourself up from some kind of a box that you're feeling like really stuck in, some kind of a move takes place, or some kind of a relationship comes in that's really high vibe. Like what you need right now is a high vibe friend or lover or person, like soul family, soulmate. You need that. Like it's basically, I think that, in life, like we are never asked to do things without support. Like Spirit will always bring in the support that we need for our path so that we can thrive. And, sometimes we might get to like a fork in the road kind of feeling where we might feel like, oh, if I continue in this way, I'm going to be completely on my own. I'm going to be entirely alone, and I won't have anyone to support me. But that's never true, because when we take that risk, when we like move forwards in a certain way, Spirit will always meet us there. The angels will always meet us there, and we will be, placed into the path, or someone will be placed into our path, like someone who is soul family, someone who is a deep connection that will sustain you and will help you with your mission, will help you with continuing on your path. So I feel like there's some fear of like, I'm going to be all alone. I'm not going to have anyone to support me. I don't have any person that can understand me or help me or something like this. But Spirit's saying like, don't go back to the old, because when we have faced that uncertainty, it can be really easy to just want to go backwards and be like, well, I'll just go back to this person because I already know them, or I'll just go back to my family because I already know what it's like, and this kind of thing. But Spirit's saying, if we just continue, if we just take that first step where it's the scary one, where we're like, oh my God, I'm all alone. If we just continue down that path, we will be supported. We will be shown everything that we need to make it happen. So there is some kind of a risk. It might feel like a bit of a risk, because I feel like you're stepping out a little bit on your own in some way, or it could be like leaving some kind of a job and like taking the risk to kind of move forwards in a different role completely, and then having that support, relational support, come in as you step into that new role. Because this is a relationships reading, but for some reason I just saw it could also be about work changing and like feeling unfulfilled by your work, feeling unfulfilled by the relationships at your work or the dynamics you're facing in your workplace or in your career. And Spirit saying change is here. Like you are needing change and innovation to move forwards, and some kind of a box that you've been put into, or someone else has put you into, or you put yourself into. It's like you got to free yourself from that, man, and you got to step forwards into your power and into your truth and into your liberation, and ultimately into your truest vibration and into your mission. Like this is your mission. This is bigger than you. This is bigger than your fears. This is bigger than your inner child. This is your soul's calling, right? To do work in the world. Extremism. Yeah, it might feel kind of extreme. People might not understand you, but it's in divine order. Like, for example, you might be called to like move to like the other side of the world and be like, you know what, I'm just moving to this place in nature and it looks so beautiful and I feel so aligned here. And other people might be like, what are you doing? This is so extreme. Like, but the thing is that Spirit's saying there needs to be also a disconnect from the people's perception of you, where they want to keep you in this box. Like there are people who love you, yes, but they also want to keep you a certain way. They want to keep you a certain version of yourself. And that's not really true love. Like I know that they are loving you as best as that they can. I'm not trying to like comfort them or anything, because I do feel like they're loving you as best they can. It's kind of like with family, right? It's like family loves you, right? They love you, whatever, but hopefully they do. I know not everyone has that, but it's like on the surface, it's like they love you, but they also kind of want to keep you a certain way because it makes them feel safe. It makes them feel comfortable. You don't rock the boat. You serve their needs. And it's like, that's not really love. Like love is genuinely wanting someone to like spread their wings and fly and be the best version of themselves and be the truest, most authentic expression of themselves. And I think not many people are able to love at that level of like really letting people be free. It's something that I've contemplated a lot, like in my own path. Maybe one day I'll share a lot more about it, but not right now. But it's something I've really contemplated, is this sense of like, when we love someone, we really need to let them be free. We need to let them be free, even if that means they're not with us, even if that means that they're not in our life, or that they need to do something that takes them across the world or that changes their career or whatever it is. Because if that's in the highest good for them, it's in the highest good for all, right? So I feel there might be some sense where it's like, you don't want to let somebody down. You don't want to rock the boat. You don't want your family to be disappointed, or, you know, people not misunderstanding you. I'm feeling judgment. Like, you're like, I don't want to be judged. People are going to judge me. They're going to think that I'm weird. They're going to think that I'm crazy. They're going to think that I'm selfish, that I'm unhinged or something like this. And it's like Spirit saying, yeah, it might feel like on the surface, like it's an extreme act to do this radical change and to become into alignment. But it's like, actually what is extreme is what you are doing to yourself right now. That is what is extreme. And I just got goosebumps through my heart as I said that. It is extreme for you to keep yourself in a box or in a cage for the service of others. Like, that is an extreme freaking thing to do, man. That is way more extreme than just like moving across the world and freeing yourself and taking a risk and spreading your wings and finding what is true for you and finding something that is going to set you free and like set your heart alight, you know? That's not extreme. It's like, you need to change your definition of extreme. And definitely I feel detached from the judgments of others. Okay. I'm feeling a lot of judgment. Like, you're afraid to break free from convention. It could be religion, culture, family. It could be a relationship you've been in, marriage. It's like you're afraid to break free. You're afraid to spread your wings. You're afraid to move forwards and to really see what this earth can offer you. But it's like, I really feel this sense like you're really trying to get your needs met. You've tried for too long. Okay. Spirit saying it's been enough. Like, you've done enough. You've tried every single thing that you could possibly try to make this work or to be happy in this little box. It's like, I literally see you in this tiny like box, in this tiny cage, and you're like, wow, you know, maybe I could like decorate it, and maybe I could, you know, play some nice music, and maybe I could be happy here. Maybe I should just try and be happy here. And Spirit's like, don't you dare, okay? Don't you dare settle for less. That's not what you came here for Earth on. Like, that's not what you came here for Earth on. That's not what you came to Earth for. That's not your reason for being. It's not to be in this box. And I feel like as well, group 2, like, you have a really, really special energy. You have a beautiful, like, oh, I just feel your energy now, and you're so beautiful. Like, you are so divine. I just want to give you a massive hug because I just feel like you have this angelic energy in you. It's like a beautiful energy. Oh my God, let's hug in the astral. Come on, come in. You have a beautiful energy. And I feel like sometimes people, I feel like sometimes people, they want to keep you. They want to keep you for themselves. It's like, it's like they want to keep a bird in a cage. And it's like, but that bird is so beautiful. I just want to keep you in this little cage so I can look at you all the time. And like, I'll just give you some food and you'll be happy, right? And it's like, no, I will not be happy. I am the bird over here. I'm not happy in this cage. I want to spread my wings. I want to be free. I want to meet my other bird friends. And so it's like, I feel like this has happened to you more than one time, okay? More than once in your life. It might be family of origin stuff. It might be relational stuff. Like when people fall in love with you, they want to keep you. They're like, you're mine. I want to keep you. Like a possessive energy. And it's because you're so incredible. You're so amazing. And you just have the most luxuriously lovely energy. Like I just want to bathe in your energy. It's so nice. And this is how people feel. And you have such a beauty to you, maybe quite a strong feminine aspect to you as well. So it makes people really drawn to you, magnetized to you. And they're like, I want you. I want to be with you. I want you. I want to keep you. But it's like they want to keep you to themselves. And I feel like you might have this pattern where people, even friends, maybe sometimes do this. Like they want you, they want to keep you, and they might feel really strong. Like you might evoke, well, you evoke strong feelings from people. You evoke a strong response from people where it's like, okay, this is a very, very big response. You evoke strong feelings, and it's like people want to cage you. They want to keep you in a cage so that they know you're mine. And it's like very possessive. It's very possessive energy. They might be jealous. They might be threatened of you or from people wanting to be with you or something like this. There's like very possessive energy, like you're mine, mine, mine. Wow. So Spirit's saying that because you have such a deep angelic love and light in you, that you actually sometimes try to just like make yourself comfortable in this cage that you've been placed in. You're like, well, maybe I can just like make it work. Like I was saying, maybe I can decorate it. Maybe I can, I don't know, play some music or like have some friends over. And Spirit's saying, no, okay, you cannot be happy in that cage. Like no one can. That's not what you came here for. So there's something here about you evoke really strong, really extreme feelings from people. And that might be kind of confusing because I'm feeling like something about the energy, the growth and the healing and love is like something about you disentangling yourself from other people's energy at the moment. Like you need to disentangle yourself from what someone else wants and get clear about what do you want? Like what is genuinely what you want? And this really applies to family, I feel, for a lot of you guys. It's like they might really want you, right, to be a certain way, but it's like, what do you want? You didn't come here to be in this box and to be placed into this box. Because there's a child's face in here, I feel like 100% stems from early childhood conditioning. So it's like you're breaking free, you're taking a risk. Look, the risk is the key. There's a key on this card. It's like you're going to put the key in and turn the lock and open a door that was otherwise not accessible to you before. And other people will judge you for it because they are at a lower level of consciousness. So they will perceive it as being extreme or like, how could you do that? How could you leave this person? How could you leave your parents? How could you move across the world? How could you leave this job? Like, that's so weird. It's so crazy. That's so unhinged. And I'm just seeing so much judgment. And I feel like you're already feeling the judgment before you've even taken the action. Just thinking about taking the action, you're like, oh my God, I'm feeling the judgment, I'm feeling the judgment. Oh my God. Spirit's saying that the judgment is kind of irrelevant when something is in divine order. When it's in divine order, it's like, who cares what people think? You know what I mean? Who cares? And it's just like, imagine someone pivotal. Like, I'm thinking about different like people who have done missions on this earth, like, people who have done, I don't know, like really important, have played really important roles. That's like played a pivotal kind of role in like things changing. And it's like, imagine if they were so afraid of judgment that they never took action, right? Imagine if that was what their life path was. Like, oh, well, I had this great mission, but I was so afraid that people would judge me. So I just never did anything about it. It's like, well, okay, well, you're not going to make the history books, right? It's like the people who make the history books, who change things on this earth, who come in with these big missions, it's because they have the strength and the courage to do something and to be okay with people judging them, for people villainizing them, right? It could be that people are going to villainize you for this. They're going to be like, how dare you do this? How could you do this to somebody? And it's like, well, if something's in divine order, then it's in divine order. No questions asked. Like there's no debating it. There's no negotiating with what is in divine order. Okay. And I feel like you might be like trying to text Spirit and be like, hey, Spirit, you up? Hey, Spirit, is it okay if I like maybe just stay in this cage? And Spirit's like, no. And then the next day, like maybe today, like would it be okay if I just didn't face this thing? And Spirit's like, no. It's like there's some kind of negotiation where you're like, maybe I could make it, and Spirit's like, no, you couldn't, okay? So I feel like Spirit's saying like there's some kind of fear that you're facing, like not just of the judgment from others, but also because I feel like you want support. Like, I feel like you are someone who needs support. We all need support. Like, what am I saying? You need support, but we all need support. Okay, this isn't just a you thing. And I feel like maybe you think it's a you thing. You're like, oh, I should really just be able to do everything on my own. And Spirit's like, no, you need support. It's okay. So I feel like you need support, okay? And that's why the friendship card came out, because it's like someone, something, somewhere is going to support you, okay? You're going to have the energy that you need to break free or to move forwards on your path and in your mission. Whatever that looks like for you, you will be supported in that. All right, so let's get 2 more cards for your reading. Group number 2. 2. Hey. Okay. Confirmation. Look at that. Optimism. Yay. Moon in Sagittarius in the 9th house. Optimism. You can be optimistic. I feel like there's like sometimes your fears get the better of you and you're thinking like, oh my gosh, I'm never going to be supported. No one's ever going to be there for me. I'm going to be all on my own. Everything's going to be terrible. And Spirit's like, no. Ostentation. Interesting. Ostentation. I want to look up this word because I forgot what ostentation means. Okay, so really interesting. I just looked up the word ostentation and it's like super interesting, group 2. So it says ostentation refers to a display of wealth, knowledge, or importance that is meant to attract attention, admiration, or envy. It often carries a negative connotation or implying excessive showiness or pretentiousness. So it's like it's a negative connotation, right? Ostentation. I thought it was. But you know what I'm getting? It's not so much about a display, so it says refers to a display of wealth, knowledge, or importance that is meant to attract attention, admiration, or envy. So it's like, I feel like this is your fear. This is your fear. This is your fear. There's a fear here of like really being judged, because ostentation is like people negatively judging someone for their display of wealth, knowledge, or importance. They're trying to attract attention. It's like, and people are envious or they're showiness, pretentious, that kind of like so negative, right? So this is the really interesting thing, is that I feel like this is coming out from your shadow where you are afraid to show your power. There's a fear of your true power where you're like, you are seriously powerful, group 2. Like, you have such a big mission. I feel like you already know this. I don't think it's possible for you to not. And I mean, maybe you don't. Well, let me tell you, you do. You have such a powerful mission, okay? So it's like, I feel like there's a fear here with ostentation. I don't think you are ostentatious, okay? Just to clear this up. I'm not saying that you are, but I think that you have a fear of being perceived in this really judgmental way where people are like, oh, look at you, like so powerful over there, or so wealthy, or so knowledgeable, so beautiful. This fear of envy. Like, I feel like this is something else that's kept you in this box, is like people being envious of you. I think maybe this is something that's happened since you were young, maybe from family. You know, something that isn't talked about a lot is that like a lot of parents are actually jealous of their children, okay? This is when we have emotionally immature parents. Emotionally immature parents are often jealous of their children, okay? And I know a lot of you in this group have experienced this because it's coming through really strongly, where it's like you want to hide your power. You want to hide this amazing energy that you have, because it's like you don't want to make other people feel small. You don't want them to judge you or be like, oh, so pretentious, or so, like da-da-da. And it's like you have such an ability to be extremely rich, extremely successful, extremely powerful, extremely beautiful, all of these things extreme, in an extreme way. Like, let me tell you how extreme it is. You're here to be rich and powerful and beautiful and incredible, and your vibration just like off the charts, amazing. And I feel like there's some kind of place that you're in, like a location, a family, a relationship, a job, a career, a way of just the way that you operate that's keeping you so small. And there's such a deep fear of the judgment of people and the envy of people for like you really stepping into your power. So it's like, this is what is being negotiated inside of you right now, is like you are not going to be able to get out of your mission, group 2. There's no way of getting out of it, okay? There's no way of you negotiating with the divine and being like, well, can't I just like maybe keep myself small? It's like, no, this is not negotiable. This is non-negotiable, okay? You are not keeping yourself small in this lifetime. You are going big, 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 like in an extreme way, extreme wealth, extreme success, extreme beauty, extreme everything. So there's some kind of pattern that you're really sorting out here around fearing from the judgment of others, fearing the envy of others, fearing the rejection where people reject you, where it's like, oh, like kind of how people hate rich people. Like there's that kind of classic sort of thing. And like, I'm not saying that, obviously there's complicated dynamics on earth, okay? Like, and the wealth disparity and all these things, it's really unfair. So I'm not like saying, but in a simple way, right? The way that people hate rich people, it's like, well, you might be afraid of becoming rich because you don't want to be hated. You don't want to be set apart from others, right? But it's like, well, it's your mission to become rich or to become successful in some way. So it's like that shadow needs to be worked through. And this box that you allow yourself to be kept in, because it's like you have the choice. You always have. You've always had the choice to free yourself. The key is right there, but it's a risk. It's a risk because this box is what you know. This box is a place you were put into as a young child and kept there. And it's like people want you there. They give you approval for being there. They're like, yes, I love it. I love you when you're like this. And then when you show this more extreme side of you, when you show your power, when you show your incredible ability, then there's envy, then there's shadow, then people judge you, then people project onto you. So it's like Spirit's saying there needs to be a detachment from like the way that people perceive you or the way that people try to keep you small or hold you back or possess you for themselves in a way that's not in alignment with the divine order of things, with the divine plan of things. Like I said, you got the main card here is about your mission. The judgment card always makes me think of our mission, because the judgment ultimately, it also talks about our life review. Like when we finish this lifetime, when we look back as a soul in our life and we have everything reviewed to us by the angels with the utmost love, right? But we see everything. We see all that we did, all the mistakes we made, all the things we did right, all the ways we changed the world, all the ways we impacted people, all the thoughts we ever thought that impacted people we loved or, negatively, positively, all of it. We see all of it. And it's like, if you get to that point, what do you want to see? How do you want to feel about your life review? Okay. This is what the angels are coming through to tell you. It's like they're reminding you, like, there is a time frame for things and it's coming up kind of soon. Like, I think that everything's going to happen in a way that's not going to feel too scary. Okay. That's the other thing. Maybe you've already been getting inklings of this new timeline. You're like, well, I need to expand. I need to grow. I need to become more beautiful, powerful, successful, rich, whatever it might be. You need to step more into your mission, step more into the light, step more into your divine purpose, and step out of dynamics and relationships that were not serving or healing you. I feel like you've already been feeling this. You've been answering the call. You've been hearing the call, but then you've also been trying to negotiate the call and be like, Spirit, can we negotiate? But there's really no negotiation. That's what Spirit's saying. There's no negotiation. Your mission is your mission. You already planned it. This is all part of the divine order of things. Nothing terrible is going to happen. Yes, some people might be jealous. They might be judgmental. They might misunderstand you. They might think you're extreme or crazy or unhinged. But that really is quite insignificant into the greater plan of all things, okay? The greater plan of all things. We can't control how people perceive us when we are in alignment with our divine path. We can't control that, and we shouldn't try to. It's super draining. So I feel like this is a massive timeline shift that's coming in for you. I think a lot of you already know about it to some extent or have been feeling it or been feeling the call to take action or to change in some way, to break free of something, to move location, this kind of thing, to restructure dynamics within relationships, to be more self-honoring, to not let yourself be kept in such a small box, and to realize that the fear of envy from others is not a reason to not take action or to move forwards. Like, that's not a good enough reason to not grow. You know what I mean? Like, that's a really sad reason to limit yourself. And I think you've done so well to try to be happy in these connections or in this workplace or in this role, these dynamics, and Spirit's saying enough. Like, you don't have to try to be happy somewhere that is literally a cage, right? It's like you can just set yourself free and fly and just have that organic, natural happiness that you know is there for you. All right, group 2. So I'm wishing you all the best with this new timeline coming in. Just know that it's going to happen slowly. It's not going to be too much. Like, that's the thing Spirit wants you to know, is that it's not going to be so much that you're like terrified the whole time and it's like really traumatic or anything like that. It's going to happen slowly and unfold organically, and you're going to be supported every single step of the way. Every single step of the way you will be supported. You have divine support, but that will also manifest in the world as genuine kindness and love and support from people in your life as well. Like, you will have the support you need, even if you have to leave a relationship or leave a dynamic or leave a location. You're not going to be alone. You will be supported. All right, group 2, thank you so much for tuning in with me. And if you would like to check out more of my work, please see the links in the description box below. Much love. Group number 3, oh my gosh, I'm feeling like a huge self-love energy coming from your card. Like, I feel like you are realizing you're in the process of actually awakening to how amazing you are and how incredible you are. And your vibration is rising through this process of like loving yourself more and more and more. And you are also magnetizing in more and more and more connections that are really high vibrational and self-honoring, like so like respecting of you. And all of it's coming from this inner work that you're doing, this inner shift where you're, like I said, it's like some kind of healing that you're doing. This healing and this growth is going to impact all of your relationships, all of your, your love life, your family life, your friendships, every single thing, your career, your magnetism. But it's, first of all, it's coming from inside of you. It's coming from within you. And it's amazing. There's also kind of like a sexual awakening here. Like I feel like you might be going through like a new era of your sexual awakening where it's like, I feel like you're really coming into your power. You're coming into your sexuality. You're healing anything that may have traumatized you in regards to sexuality from this or other lifetimes. I'm feeling like there was something you came into this lifetime with where it's like you were afraid a little bit of your full power, of your full sexual kind of embodiment. And there might have been some way that you were trying to kind of, I don't know, keep this suppressed a little bit, or keep it kind of, keep it like watered down or something to make others around you more comfortable, or to not create drama, or, like it's kind of like you have a real magnetism to you. Like it might be something that has even caused you issues in the past. Like, for example, if you had a friend and then their like boyfriend like falls in love with you or something, and there's something like that where it's like it's like something about it was, you felt like, oh no, like I can't have this. I don't want this to hurt people. It's like something like this. You didn't want it to hurt people. You didn't want people to feel uncomfortable around you or to feel threatened by you. Like there's something here about jealousy as well in comparison, where it's like you maybe have tried to like minimize this energy inside of yourself to make others uncomfortable and to like dim your light. And it's like, not anymore. Okay. Not anymore. Wow. So there's a huge self-healing happening, and it's going to result in a major glow up. Like I feel like your appearance changing, your embodiment changing. You're not keeping yourself small for anyone anymore. You're like, this is me. I am here. Hello world kind of thing. Like I love it for you, group 3. And it's going to bring so much light to the world. It's going to bring so much fire into your life. Like I'm seeing passion. I'm seeing like your sex life as well being incredible. If that's something you're doing, I know a lot of people practice celibacy, and I totally respect that. But if you are, it could just be your own, like with your own sexuality, like it's just blowing up, like just you and you. It can just be the relationship with you, like for example, dancing, just like being in your body, being in that raw kind of like sexual kind of energy, and just embodying that and loving that about yourself. Man, you are going to be bringing in so much abundance through this energy, group 3, like your self-love, your self-respect, the way that you're honoring yourself, and the way that you're embodying your truest form, your truest sexual power. Holy shit, is it going to unlock your abundance? Like, oh my God, I'm seeing major abundance, major glow up, people being shocked, people staring at you in the streets, like people literally being like, who is this goddess incarnate? Like for real. Goddess codes massively coming through. And I feel like people are going to be shocked. Like they're going to be shocked. Like people already in your life are going to be like, how did you do this? How did you shift your energy so much? Like, I feel like you are going through such a major, it's like the ridiculous like movie trope where it's like the main character is like a nerd at the beginning, even though she's obviously still really beautiful. But like in the Princess Diaries, I know a lot of you guys like 90s kids, so but it's like the Princess Diaries, right? Where she starts out and she's like the nerd, she's got the frizzy hair, she's got the glasses on, and she's like a bit clumsy and goofy and stuff like this. And everyone's like, oh, she's not attractive, even though, hello, it's Anne Hathaway. But anyway. And then she goes through this major glow up, and everyone's all of a sudden like stumbling over themselves. They can't believe it. They're like, who is this princess? Who is this goddess? Where did you come from? So it's like, I know it's like a really funny like trope, but that's what I'm getting for you, group 3. It's like, it's kind of hilarious. It's like, for some reason, your energy was like being super held back inside of you. And I feel like you were kind of like on purpose doing it. Like, I know it's kind of weird. It's like a very subconscious thing. So it's not like you were consciously trying to make yourself less attractive or desirable or magnetic in any way, or like holding back your power. But it's like at a subconscious level, you were. At a subconscious level, you were. This could even be past life themes of trauma. But I'm seeing something about this life where it's like you rocked some kind of boat with your energy, and you were like, oh, I don't want to do this. I don't want to like make people uncomfortable, or this kind of thing. So it's like, I see you really shedding some layer of like really holding yourself back subconsciously. And it's like, you're just letting yourself shine. You're letting yourself be free. You're letting yourself have this glow up. Number one, energetically, okay? Because the energy transforms the physical body and the physical appearance as well. So let's get some more cards for you, group 3, okay? Oh my God, are you kidding me? I love it. 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 Seduction, okay? That's the thing, like, ooh, yes, you're going to be so seductive, so magnetic. Like, there is just genuinely a sexual energy, and like, sexual energy is related to creative energy and creative life force. So it doesn't mean that you are going to be like, I don't know, super sexual necessarily in the world, right? But it's like the magnetic energy that you have is seducing, it's seductive, it's so magnetic. People are like falling down for it. Like I feel this so strongly. It's like you being really in this power. And it's like, it's really powerful, okay? It's like the feminine goddess energy. And regardless of your gender, okay? Because like, that's not really what I mean, because we all have feminine within us, and the feminine energy is the magnetism, okay? The feminine is the magnetic. So it's like, I see you being so magnetic that you almost don't even know what to do with it. And you're like, oh, I could have, like, I see you realizing that it was kind of like a light switch. It's like you purposefully were too afraid to turn this light on inside of you because you didn't know how the world would react, or if people would be jealous, or what kind of ramifications would come from that, how it would rock the boat, what relationships dynamics would have to end, these kinds of things. But it's like, you're just like, you know what, I'm just going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. And you turn that light on and it's like, boom, your whole life comes alive. Oh my gosh. Proof number 3. Oh my gosh. I feel like so excited as well. I'm feeling excited. I'm feeling energized. I'm feeling like you have held back on your sexuality, and that in turn has also held back on your life force. It's like you've been dimming your light and it's been like pushing your life force down. And I'm just seeing like there is honestly nothing more magnetic than self-love. Like self-love is pretty much the most magnetic energy in the whole universe. Like think about Venus, the goddess Venus, like the Venusian energy of love. It comes right from within first, that self-love that's just like so magnetic and so incredible. So it's like you loving yourself so deeply and honoring yourself and respecting yourself. It's like I'm seeing the whole world shifting how they treat you. I'm seeing you no longer being okay with being treated any way other than, divine. Like you are going to be treated with divine love by all things, by all beings. Like I'm seeing as well the world around you. Like I'm seeing people like passing you on the street and literally being shocked by your energy, like because you're embodying something that is very rare on this earth. Like you have codes within you. This is like very divine feminine energy. Again, please don't be distracted by the fact that I'm saying feminine. Just take it how you want to take it, okay? But I'm feeling like such divine feminine energy that people are going to be like literally doing a double take, and they're like, wait, what? And it's like mouths dropping open. That's what I'm seeing, okay? Woo! Power, okay? This is power. This is like feminine power. I love it for you, okay? Health, right? So there's the glow up. So it's like maybe you've also had some health stuff going on, and it's like I'm seeing physical body changes though. Like you might be going through detox. I definitely recommend detoxing with fruits and vegetables. Like you can check out Dr. Morse. Well, it's mostly fruits, but check out Dr. Morse's work. I always link it in the description below because Spirit's not going to let me not share this. Eventually I'll share more about it, but you might really want to check into some kind of a health practice like raw veganism, this kind of thing, like to really help improve your radiance and your light, because the more you are healthy in your physical vessel, the more like energy that you can channel within your body. So that could be something that you're already doing or something you're interested in doing, but it's like, yeah, I see physical health. Like health to me is physical body. So this is like an actual glow up in your appearance, in the way that you are looking, okay? Egotism. It's that song's coming into my head. It's like that one that's like, I'm talking about confidence, baby. She was a confident lady. It's like, oh my God, I'm seeing so much confidence. You are going to rock the boat, group 3. Okay. I'm just saying it right here, right now. People are going to be mad. All right. People are going to be jealous. I'm seeing this more as other people's egos, because I feel like this is coming from such a pure place inside of you where it's like you are coming through with self-love, and that is just overflowing into the world. And you're like, I'm not keeping this back anymore. Like you're not holding yourself back anymore. You're loving yourself. You're overflowing. You're letting yourself be powerful. You're letting yourself be beautiful. And it's like, it's interesting because I think that this egotism stuff is like why you kept it back in the first place. Like why you ever dimmed your light in the first place, where you tried to keep yourself small to make other people kind of comfortable around you. And it's like, other people's egos is really not your problem, and that's what you're really standing in your power about. You're like, you know what, other people's egos, if they get bruised, good. I feel like this sense of like, you're done, you've had it, you're sick of being patient and playing small for people, because it's like they're not healing, they're not growing. So it's like, why would I do that? I think that like at some level when you started this pattern, like, because patterns always come from childhood, right? But it's like, at some level, I think as a child, you thought like, well, I can just like hold myself back and keep myself a bit small because other people will heal, right? Other people will catch up with me and they'll be able to heal and they'll be able to meet me here. And then I think that in your adult years, it's like you're realizing, wait a minute, no one's catching up. They're not meeting me here. They're not like actually, like, there's no point in the holding yourself back because it doesn't serve anyone. It doesn't change anything. It just maintains someone else's sort of dominance and control over you. So it's like, I feel like you're freeing yourself, but you're freeing yourself through this self-love. And there is maybe a little bit of a rebellious energy coming through you. And I love it. That's why I was saying it's like when you're like, other people's ego is not my problem. Like, I'm feeling a little bit of sassy energy from you. I'm feeling a little bit of like standing in your power and being kind of rebellious against these things that were like ingrained in you from childhood. There's something about, and so many people have it, especially like it's so common, like to hold yourself back to try to make other people feel comfortable, especially the feminine energy, because the feminine energy wants connection. It wants to connect. It wants to be around other people, wants other people to be with them, right? So it's like, well, it's hard, it's hard to sacrifice that, but I feel like you're getting to the point where you're like, you know what, this is not serving me and it's not serving anybody. So it's like, why would I keep doing this? So I feel like it's such a powerful thing where you're not really, it's really not coming from your ego. Even if other people are going to project onto you and be like, oh, she's so in her ego, or he's so in his ego, or whatever. It's like, that's not where it's coming from within you. So just like, don't worry about that. And I think that you're actually going to find it kind of funny, because like Mars in Leo, like there's a provocativeness to you. Like Mars in Leo in the 5th house, it's like, I feel like you're a little bit provocative. I feel like you've kept yourself small for so long that you're like, nah, I'm not doing this anymore. And you're like, hello world, this me, I'm coming out. That song. I want the world to know, gotta let it show. It's like, yes, get it out there. Like, I just feel so much like love from your guides where they're like, finally they're celebrating that you've like been able to overcome this block. Where it's like, yeah, look at this. Like, it's such a funny image, this like chicken with like a face. It's like other people's ego and they look silly. Like, that's what I'm getting from this card. It's like people when they're in their ego, they look silly. They're silly. Don't trust them. Don't listen to them. It's like, you just gotta be you. And yeah, the seduction energy, it's like there's a goddess energy on this card. Like, I feel it's like there's a goddess. Like, you are just embodying such a magnetic and seductive energy. Like, it's powerful, okay? It's so powerful. It's going to rearrange everything in your life in the best kind of way. And yeah, you might have a lot of jealousy, like, okay, because this is the reason why you never let this fully out in the first place, is because there was a fear subconsciously of the jealousy and of how that impacts relationship and it blocks connection. Because, it's like the catty friends, like, and in school where it's like, they can be really mean to someone because they're jealous of them, right? It's like that kind of energy. And it's like, well, you wanted to avoid that kind of conflict or drama or people's egos, like trying to, control you or dominate you. And so I just think this rebellious energy is really healthy because you're coming back into your power and you're like, you know what, I don't care anymore. I don't care who says what or what they think, because this is me and hello, And I love it because it's so raw and it's so authentic and it's so magnetic. Like, it's seriously, it's jaw-dropping, okay? It's jaw-dropping magnetism, group 3. I love it. Okay, we have excitement. Yeah, I've been really excited as I'm tuning in with this energy. There is something really exciting about it. And look, we have the Gemini energy. So it's Mercury and Gemini in the 3rd house. So it's like the Gemini energy is classic. It's the twins, okay? It's the twins, and it's known as kind of being like two faces. There's two faces of Gemini. And it's like, I feel like you've really kept one part of yourself really hidden. And then it's like, you're like, you know what? I can't just keep half of myself out of, I can't keep pushing half of myself down. And you're just letting yourself be all of you. You're letting yourself be all of you, no matter what that means, no matter whose ego gets bruised or whatever, it's like, that's not worth it to the pain that it causes you to like keep yourself repressed or keep yourself hidden. So I just feel this beautiful, like, it's such a healing energy because, like I said, this pattern was ingrained in you in childhood where somewhere along the lines, you got the message that you needed to dim your light to make others around you more comfortable, and that you being your full, authentic, beautiful, sexual self made others triggered or uncomfortable, or you were punished in some way for that. So it's like this healing and growth in love is coming from inside of you, but it will impact every part of your life, every aspect of your life, your abundance, your relationships, everything. Like, it is such a beautiful thing. And yeah, you're going to be feeling excited, okay? Yeah, you are. You're going to be feeling so excited. People are going to feel this energy in you. It's going to be so like contagious. There's a contagious energy to your excitement, to your magnetism. Like, people are like, I want some of that. I want to be like that. I want to be like that. Like, I think you're going to be inspiring people as well. They want to be more like you. They're like, what have you been doing? What's your health routine? What's your skin routine? I want to do it. I want to be like you. Yeah, you are going to kind of be elevated to a little bit of a almost like celebrity status a little bit. This could be genuine celebrity status, like you might actually have more eyes on you in your work or something. And, when I say celebrity, it's like, I don't mean like the gross kind. It's like just that kind of the word of like having a lot of like, eyes on you and a lot of people being like, I want to know what your secret is. What are you eating today? Like, what are you doing? Because they want to emulate this energy that you have. And I think that it's interesting because you're going to be like, yeah, well, you got to learn to love yourself and that kind of thing. And people are going to be like, yeah, but what about the actual, like, give me the details. Like, where do you shop? What are you doing with your like skin? What are you doing with your food? What are you doing? And I feel like you're just going to be like so zen and kind of like, yeah, but it's deeper than that, man. It's deeper than that. And I feel like people are going to be really excited, but they're also going to want to just kind of like cookie cutter, copy and paste. And kind of like, I'm seeing a lot of people trying to copy you, a lot of like copycats in your life, even online and things like this. But again, they don't hold that same frequency. They don't hold that same like extreme kind of magnetism that you do, because it comes from the inside first. Like everyone could do your exact routine, whatever you might be doing for your health, for your whatever, but unless they heal this internal shift, unless they have this internal shift and they heal whatever was blocking them from their power, from their sexuality, well, it's not going to work. It's not going to bring them what they think is going to bring them. There's something here, group 3, where you're letting go of control. You're releasing control over yourself, where you were trying to control yourself. You were trying to control the way that the world received you or perceived you because it made you feel safer. And like I said, this is always from early childhood conditioning. This is always where it comes from. But it's like, I feel like you're releasing that control and you're like, you know what? The world can perceive me whatever way they will. If other people get threatened or uncomfortable, it's like, that's not your job. It's not your job to try to help someone through that. Like, you just have to be yourself, shine your light, because it activates others. And it's this authentic expression of truth. That is what spirit wants for each and every one of us. And just because other people might not be there yet, that doesn't mean that you have to keep yourself small for them. And I know that you know this at a conscious level, but that's why these subconscious blocks are so important, that we address them and that we work with them. Light language is a great way of doing that. For example, sleep tapes, things like this. We have to work with these subconscious at the deepest level of the subconscious so we can have these massive breakthroughs. And, I feel like if you've been having some kind of health issue or even mental health issue, something about that resolving is like coinciding. It's not coinciding. It's like one in the same of you letting your power out. It's like something about you repressing your power from a young age also manifested as volatility in your body through health issues or mental health issues. And there's something about this resolution and this healing of like letting your power out is also going to simultaneously like coincide or be one and the same with you healing something in your physical or mental health. And it's so powerful, group 3. And I think you're not going to know yourself because you've lived so long with this energy of being repressed, of being held back, of having health issues or something also manifesting. And it's like and having those things start to dissipate and having you really step into this full power where it's like, you're going to be like, what was I waiting for? Like, you're seriously going to be like, what was I waiting for, spirit? Oh my God, I can't believe that I missed a second of this. That's what you're going to feel, because it's going to feel so good. Look, we have flirtation on the back of the deck. That's right. You're going to be like, look, inheritance. I feel like that's also relevant because this is your inheritance, like spiritually. Okay. This is who you are. Like, this is what you are here to inherit, like spiritually. Like, this is who you are. You aren't meant to keep yourself small and dim your light. It's like, no, you're here to shine bright because that is your mission and you're here to inspire and uplift others. And I see you inspiring. Like I said, I see you getting a lot of people wanting to copycat you, wanting to emulate you in a way that's not really self-honoring to themselves, because everyone has to be their own authentic self. And, we can't copy other people. It's not how it works. That's not an authentic expression of ourselves. So I do see that there's going to be kind of like quite a lot of different versions of people being inspired by you. Lower vibrational, they might be envious, jealous, comparative. They might want to emulate you, copy you. And then up on the higher frequencies is like, you are going to genuinely activate people, group 3. Oh my God, I'm getting shivers in my heart when I say that. It's like, you are going to activate people to come into their power. I don't know how many people it's going to be, but I'm seeing like all of these people all of a sudden popping up into this huge light beam, and they're like finally letting their light shine. It's like you doing it gives permission to others subconsciously, where they're like, you know what, I can do this. I want that. And the people that are ready, they will do it and they will pop and they will shine. And you're going to feel so excited about it. You're going to be like, yes, let's do it. Let's dance. Let's be free. Let's be in this beautiful energy together. And I feel like you're going to feel this energy across the globe. Like, even if you don't know the people that you are influencing, you are influencing them by doing this. Like, and I think that you're going to see as well in your actual life, you're going to see people changing and shifting, and you're going to realize that this is a direct response to you. And some of it might be bad, okay? I'm not going to lie to you, group 3. Some of it might be people's negative egos come out, people feeling threatened by you, this kind of thing. There might be jealousy, like I said, but there's also going to be beautiful change. And I feel like you just being in this really flirty energy where you're like, life is a dream. Like, I really feel like you're realizing like this was always at your fingertips, and there's going to be a sense in you of like, what was I waiting for? Why did I ever miss 1 second of how sweet and beautiful life could be? Why would I ever think that it was the right thing to do to hold myself back to make someone else feel more comfortable? Because again, you're realizing that the people that were uncomfortable with you were low vibrational in the first place. They were low vibrational people that you were never going to change or heal, okay? They were never going to come along with you for this journey. So I feel like you're realizing that, and you're just like, you know what? I'm off. I'm out of here. I'm going. I'm claiming my divine inheritance, It's so beautiful. So yeah, the flirtation is like, I think, well, I know a lot of people are going to be interested in you in a romantic way. Like, if you're single right now, or even if you're not single right now, okay, you might have so many offers that you're like, whoa, spirit, like chill out, man. It might be kind of like overwhelming, because I really feel the light switch energy where it's like something was off and now it's on, okay? A light was off and you're in darkness, and then you turn the light on and it's so bright that your eyes take a little bit of adjustment period. Your eyes are like still adjusting to this light, and you're like, this is so bright. Oh my gosh, this is so blindingly bright. It's like you're almost blinded by your own light. But it's like you grow into this so fast. Don't worry, group 3. There's going to be a little bit of an adjustment period, just like with the eyes, but you will adjust to that very quickly. And I feel like you're going to enjoy this flirtatious energy, because you have this naturally very loving, kind of flirtatious, fun kind of energy that I feel like, again, it was super being held back. And I feel like you're going to feel like more than you ever have before in your life. You're going to feel comfortable with getting attention. You're going to feel comfortable with having eyes on you, because you're going to realize that this is just part of being a bright light in the world. It's like, yeah, people's eyes are going to be turned to you. People's eyes, they're going to want to come be around your light, because your light is healing. Your light is special. Your light is activating. So I feel like you're going to feel this flirtatious energy with life. Like, you're flirting with life. You're like, come on, life, like dance with me. Let's go. And it's like life is going to find you irresistible. All of the things that you desire in your heart will find you irresistible. Your seduction, you got flirtation. It's like, hello, group 3. Hello. And it's like you are saying hello to the world, and the world is saying hello back, Okay, we have, look at this, Moon in Leo in the 5th house. We have appreciation. So it's like, man, people are going to be appreciating you, if you know what I mean. Like, I'm really seeing a worship energy, okay? Like the way that people worship the goddess. Like, I'm seeing as well, if you are like having, sexual intimacy with people at this time, it's like they're going to be appreciating every inch of your body. Like, there's something here. It's really intense energy. It's like, oh, I'm feeling worship energy coming through, but in a really high vibrational way, okay? Not in a negative way. It's like worshiping you for the goddess that you are, incarnate on this earth, okay? That's what I'm feeling. That's what I'm feeling. Wow. All right, we have fortune. Look at that. Fortune. Group 3. I love it. Okay, so there's so much coming through. Like, so it's all really positive, but then like, look at this. We also have back of the deck, like this card kind of fell out as well, criticism, but I'm not going to take it because I only plan to get 8 of these cards. We have criticism, and then we have lust. So it's like, yeah, there will also be the low vibrational reactions to your energy, and spirit saying like, that is okay. This is something you've been afraid of for a long time, but you're actually ready to deal with it now. And you're ready to kind of like take the criticism, like whatever it might be, and realize that it's a reflection of somebody else. Like, unless there's genuine constructive criticism where it's like, we always can grow and change. But I'm seeing the criticism, the fingers being pointed, is coming from a sense of lust, like from a sense of, I want what you have, like whatever that might be, or I want to be with you and you don't want to be with me, like, negative kind of lust. Like, lust is a very low vibrational emotion. I'm not saying, like, I'm talking about the lowest vibration of lust. Like, I think maybe there can be a higher one of like desire or something like this, but I'm talking about low vibrational lust, where it's like, yeah, it can turn really dark. So I do see like a lot of people, like, they want what you want. They're jealous, they're envious, they're criticizing you. They're trying to like cut you down. They're trying to make you feel low self-esteem so that they can have control over you. And Spirit's saying like, oh, just let it go, because you're going to be in this energy of the sun. Look at this sun. It's like, look at this fortune. You are sun in Leo, and then you got moon in Leo. Wow. Okay. Leo can evoke a lot of jealousy from people because Leo is really good at self-love. Leos are like, I love life. I love myself. I love this earth. I love you. And then people are like, oh my God, that's too much love. You're too much in your heart space. So it's like, I see you being so in your heart space and so full of love that people are like, gosh, why are you so sunshiny? You know, like this really like kind of negative, low vibrational kind of reaction, as well as all of the positive ones. And Spirit's saying that it's just duality, okay? Like, just treat it as like whatever, it's duality. I feel like a lot of the time this is going to be water off a duck's back for you. Like, I really feel like it's going to kind of not infiltrate you at all of this negative stuff, because it's like you've healed it from the inside out, and like you already know about these low vibrational energies, because that's why you ever dimmed your light in the first place. That's why you ever were dimming your light ever in the first place, right? It's because there were these low vibrational people that were coming from their egos, wanting to, you know, break you down, break your self-esteem and this kind of stuff, so you could be submissive to what they wanted. And so I feel this rebellious energy in you where you're like, I don't care anymore. Like, I'm coming out. I want the world to know, you know, and I love it for you. I just love it. I could sit in this energy all day. It's so beautiful and it's so expansive and it's so incredible. And Spirit's saying like, just remember that you are here to like basically awaken others. Like, your light is going to serve all. Like, this is not you being in your ego, okay? Make sure that you never think that when people might be like trying to bring you down, because I'm seeing people genuinely trying to bring you down because of how amazing your frequency is, because of how much you're in this incredible magnetic energy. Like, people are going to be so threatened by it, as well as, like I said, so many people being so inspired, so activated, and literally having these awakenings just by being in your energy or receiving your light. They're going to have this awakening of like, oh my gosh, I want to love myself. I can heal myself. I can come back into my power. You know, this is a huge healing of the feminine. This is a healing of the feminine. And it's going to change your connections, because like I said, you at some level subconsciously dimmed your light as a child, and it continued throughout your lifetime. There was a dimming of your light to make others around you more comfortable. But you realize now that those people around you, they were low vibrational, like they were low vibrational all along. There was like literally no need to dim your light, because the people that you were dimming your light for were always going to be negative. They were always going to be kind of haters. You know what I mean? So it's like, I feel like you're realizing, like, you're like, oh, well, I have compassion for like, that's where you're at. But also I got business here. Like, I got work to do. So I'm not going to stick around anymore. So it's like, yeah, some relationships might shift, change, evolve, but ultimately it's for the highest good and the highest good of all. So it's like, you're going to be appreciating yourself so much. Like, I just see you loving on yourself so deeply. I see other people just being infatuated, like really strong. And for some of it, like I said, it's going to be a whole spectrum of frequency, some high vibrational, some low vibrational, but keep in mind that it's all kind of one response. It's just that everyone's responding from a different consciousness level. So it's like some people are responding from a low vibrational consciousness level, and therefore they are reacting with jealousy, with envy, with hatred, with wanting to break you down, with break your self-esteem. And then others are reacting from a more high vibrational consciousness level, and they are reacting with inspiration, with wanting to emulate, but from a positive place of like, oh, I want that for myself. I want love for myself. I want self-love. I want to free my energy. I want to free my sexuality. And they're going to be like, wow, this is what I want. And you're going to activate people. Like, your light, look how bright this energy is. It's like your light is going to shine into this world so strongly. And this is your inheritance. This is your inheritance, not just from this lifetime, but from other lifetimes. And nothing and no one will keep you from this. Nothing or no one will ever keep you from your inheritance. And that's the another thing you're realizing is like, it doesn't matter how long it took you to get to this point where you're letting your power out, because you're doing it now, and it's divine and it's incredible, and you are receiving your full divine inheritance in this life. Oh my gosh, group 3, amazing. Enjoy your glow up. Enjoy this incredible shift in your life and how it impacts and benefits all of your relationships and your abundance. It's just so positive. It was so nice to tune in for you. And if you would like to check out more of my work, then please see all the links in the description box below. Much love.